I must find the perfect spoon.
Excuse me, I need a spoon.
My spoon is too big.
Spoon with me, dude!
Hi, and welcome to the Little Spoon Snatchers. This is our first ever, our inaugural, our pilot episode. And I'm Sam Beal, joined here by Travis, they call him Skippy, and Logan. What's up, guys?
Dude, this is it.
Yeah.
We've been working on this for a while now, and it's just good to be here, getting it done, taking care of business.
Long time coming, for sure. Well, we're going to get into some intros since this is our first show. Going to introduce ourselves a little bit, talk about who we are, and then we're going to get into the show. So, like you said, I'll start. My name's Logan, as you said. I'm 22 years old. I'm officially now, as of like 4 or 5 days, officially a retired collegiate tennis player. Done. My career's over. Put in a good 5 years. I'm super glad it's done. My body can rest now. I got my degree in accounting, and I'm a tax specialist now for estates and trusts. So yeah, I do some fun, riveting tax stuff. A few things about me you need to know. Sports, love them. Been doing sports my whole life, playing them, watching them, and that's anything from baseball, football, basketball to the really niche ones, like pickleball, spike ball, disc golf. Doesn't matter. I always have many different hobbies. There's a point in my life where I just rotate hobbies all the time, and I just give that my full attention, whether that's chess, the Rubik's Cube, pool, whatever. I dive into it for a few months, and it's just who I am. I love animals and wildlife. I think it's super interesting. I have so much respect for animals, and I think they're just super cool to look at. Love the zoo. And I got some really passionate opinions about some really stupid topics, and I just can't wait to get into it with you guys.
That's what we're here for, right?
Yep.
We're here to share
It
that.
really does.
And that's just me.
All right. They call me Skip, Skippy, Skip Dog Nasty, whatever you want to go with. My name's Travis, but I go with Skippy. There's a lot about me that I feel like over the course of this show, whether it's just one episode or whether this ends up being a million episodes, that you're going to learn about me. But a couple things you got to know. First and foremost, I'm kind of the tech guy. I do all the camera stuff. That's what I went to college for. So anything that doesn't sound good or doesn't look good on the camera side, just blame it on me. That's kind of what I do. I don't want to steal your thunder, but officially, as of 5 months ago, I am a retired collegiate dodgeball player. So I guess I'll have to steal your thunder on that one. I wasn't good at dodgeball, but it was fun. I don't know. I would say probably I also wrestle at this table. I'm probably the best wrestler here, if I had to guess.
That's fair.
Maybe Logan. Logan's pretty good. But other than Logan, I'm probably the best wrestler at this table. They call me Sherman Walker, so that's another name. I'm just full of names. Moonshine Sherman Walker. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be doing this,
Yeah.
Sam?
Well, that's my name. My name is Sam Beal. They know me as the Croc Rockin', Nickelback Poppin', Curls for the girls all over the world, the Perminator Sam Beal. I am a professional wrestler. You can see me on Impact Wrestling on Access TV. But I'm also wrestling all over the world. I've been to I think it's 15 different states right now. It's my passion. I love it. I've been doing it since we were in high school on the trampoline, making our own little shows and Nighthawk over there. But I'm chasing my dreams, and I want to be the best wrestler that ever was. But also, I go to UT. I'm studying communications. I think that'll help further me in wrestling. So that's why I switched over to communications.
Yes.
It's fun too. That's when I took it last year as my first semester, and I just had a blast doing it. So it's really great. I plan to graduate in the May of this year, so 2022. Other things, little quick things about me. I got 2 sweet dogs. One's named Echo off of the 100, and then Tucson from Tucson, Arizona. And I'm sure you guys will actually hear the story of why we named Tucson on the show. But yeah, I love my dogs. I'm an avid sports fan. I love bad football. I love the Lions, the Tigers, the Wolverines, all bad teams. It's my passion to root them on. So then when they do pull off that championship victory, baby, there's going to be a parade in Detroit and Michigan, but there's going to be a parade here in Rossford too, because I'm going everywhere.
When they pull it off and you got a gray mullet and on your deathbed.
I'm actually like buried underneath the ground. But yeah, I love sports. I love video games. I really just love life.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to, chat it up with my boys over here.
Absolutely.
I don't even know the Tucson story now that I think about it. So I'm excited.
Do we want to say it now?
No, we gotta save it. That's gonna be something later. So a little bit about now that you know about us, a little bit about the show as a whole. Every single week that you tune in, because this is a weekly show, you really don't know what you're going to expect, because this is just a little bit of everything here. We're going to talk some sports. We're going to talk. We got rotating segments of all different varieties, and we already have a bunch now, but we're going to be expanding on it the more that we go. So really, like.
The best thing ever, though, is it's not just going to be talking. We're going to do some activities, some challenges, some blind taste testing, but that's going to be some fun. But honestly, when Logan said it earlier, he literally hit the nail on the head for this talk show. We are just three guys who are very passionate about some dumb things that we just want to give that to you guys. So, entertain you guys. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
And he said this is a talk show, but it's also a podcast. Mm-hmm. It's a YouTube thing. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Apple Music, Spotify, and I'm sure we'll probably be some other places eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
But I think that's probably it right now.
Well, all right, with that in mind and with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into our first segment
we're getting started, baby.
The year. So this segment is called NFL Charcuterie. And
quick tidbit, the only reason he's introducing this is because he's the only one that can say that word.
I was going to say like Charcuterie or something like that, but it is what it is.
I mean, anybody who's anybody knows charcuterie boards are really popular right now. They're very trendy. But basically what this segment is it basically a pick-ems between us three. So what we do is every week we look at the NFL schedule, and who's playing from Sunday and Monday. And we pick the 5 best games that we think could go either way. 50-50, toss-up, coin flip teams. So either that's 2 really good teams playing each other, 2 really bad teams playing each other, 2 mediumly good teams playing each other. They could go either way, basically. It's not a really good team versus a really bad team. And we pick the 5 that we think are the closest. And then we are going to pick who we think is going to win each. And there's going to be a running tally. And at the end of the NFL season, we're going to tally them up and we're going to keep track each week. And at the end, there's going to be a winner, someone who has the most points. And there's a loser who has the least points. And what we kind of think is going to be a fun little competition to see who can get the most right. And at the end of the year, there is going to be a punishment for the loser. And we don't know what that is quite yet.
I think it should be both losers. But hey.
Yeah, that's
we'll
still
see.
All up in the air if it's going to be both losers or just the one loser. But we haven't quite decided. We have a few options on what we think can happen and what it should be. But, we might also just leave that up to you, let you guys know what we think. And then, you guys can sort of pick or DM us if you have any other suggestions on some punishments that we can do for that.
Yeah, give us some suggestions. We would love to hear feedback from you guys. But another thing is like, I know, like Logan was saying, it's a decision between us 3 on the games. It's not like the betting odds in Las Vegas or the odds of like whatever. It's us 3. Our minds collaboratively will come together, pick 5 games, and those are the ones we're deciding through. We'll keep, like you said, keeping a running tally. You want to introduce the games there, Skipster?
You want me to introduce the games?
Yeah, introduce them.
Where you got them written down?
No, I got them. Do you want me to?
Just
Okay, I'll go. First game we have that we're picking is the New York Jets versus the Falcons. Like Logan said, they aren't 2 very good teams. But they aren't 2 very good teams that are equal. So it'll be a hard pick between them. And I'll go ahead and say my pick first.
Are we going to just pick now, or are we going to go through all the games first?
It's up to you guys.
Let's just introduce all the games.
Okay, all
and
right,
then
we'll go
our
through.
picks.
All right, so then we got the New York Jets versus the Falcons. We got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Carolina Panthers. Denver Broncos versus the Steelers. Cleveland Browns versus the LA Chargers. Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, so we'll go through them now.
From the top.
So the Jets versus the Falcons.
Hey, not only is this a Jets versus Falcons showdown, it's taking place in London.
Yeah.
At 9 a.m., that means I gotta wake
9
up that
a.m.
early to watch football?
I might not.
Can't
You just
wait.
tell me who
I'm
wins.
not upset about it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna watch it from 9 a.m. till 11 p.m. Sunday night.
If it was any team but the Jets versus Falcons, maybe I would.
Zach Wilson, baby,
You're
come
right, you're
on.
right.
That's funny though because I'm not taking the Jets. I'm taking the Falcons. I think the Jets got lucky last week to get a win. They should be beaten still, and I think Matt Ryan's got to come out of the shell. I mean, I did just find out that Calvin Ridley is out this week, which is unfortunate.
Yep.
But maybe it's Kyle Pitts' breakout game, against a bad team, and I'm taking the Falcons.
Taking the Falcons? Well, guess what? I'm going to go against you there.
Oh.
And I'm going to take the Jets. I think the Jets have a really good defense. And the reason they do is because of Robert Saleh. He's the greatest coach of all time, probably. Former 49ers defensive coordinator there. And he's taken that Jets team. I mean, obviously, I don't think they're a good team, but I think they're heading in the right direction. And I think a nice win in another country against a very far below average Falcons team is going to be exactly what the Jets need and what rookie quarterback Zach Wilson needs to really propel them forward.
So,
You're the tiebreaker.
I'm also going with the Jets. I'm with you there, Skip, and I'm gonna tell you why. I did some research on games played outside of the U.S. and both of these teams are actually 3-1. I tried to find something in the universe that would tell me something else, but they're both 3-1.
Logan's a little nuts.
So that didn't do anything
His nose.
for me. But here's the thing. Last week, the Jets had a big win over the Titans, and you said it was lucky, but the Titans are okay. They have really good players, but the Titans won, and so their spirits are high. Okay? The Falcons lost to a bad Washington football team.
That's bad.
Yeah.
They are bad.
It's Taylor Heineke season, baby.
They're bad, and so their spirits are not so high. So here's what you have to think: is they're going to London, jet lag, off the wazoo. Okay, when your spirits are low and you're jet lagged, it's even worse to overcome. And when your spirits are high from a big win against Derek Henry, and Ryan Tannehill, and that team, Mike Vrabel. You're riding hot, and it's called jet lagged. Their name's in it.
It is called
Their
jet
name
lagged.
is in it.
Yeah.
So that's
That
why
was
I'm
good.
going.
I will say that was good.
That's why I'm going with the Jets.
Quick little tidbit about that game real quick I wanted to expand on is I just saw a stat that last game the Jets' two brothers, Quincy Williams and then Quinnen Williams, both recorded a sack. First time in a game the two brothers did the same thing. I was hoping that it'd be Julian and Romeo Okwara for the Lions, but Okwara's out.
Jets beat you.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
The next game, Philadelphia Eagles take on the Carolina Panthers. Who you got?
Who I got?
Yeah,
I'm going with the Panthers. I'm going with the Panthers. I mean, for the sole fact that the Eagles are just not a good football team. Like, they are simply not good. And I tried thinking of, because I kind of wanted to go with the Eagles here, and I was trying to convince myself any reason to take them, and I couldn't find a single reason to.
Yeah, you just can't.
There really isn't, any reason why I would want to take the Eagles here, so I'm going with the Panthers. Simple as that.
So I did find a way that they could beat them because I picked the Eagles.
Okay.
I picked the Eagles this week. I disagree. I think the Eagles are a very good team. I think Jalen Hurts is actually really good. I have him on fantasy. I have him and Kyler in my one league, and there has been 2 or 3 weeks where he has outscored Kyler. He's good. He's a good quarterback, and they have some weapons, and yeah, it's Philadelphia, so they're bad. But the Panthers, I think, are a little showy. They're a bit smoke and mirrors because the teams that they beat were all 0-3, and then they played a good team and got rocked.
They didn't get rocked.
By Cowboys?
Yeah, they played. It was like a 1-score game at the end of it.
Well, it was a 1-score game because they scored late at the end, which was kind of fluky.
If you watched the game, it was a Cowboys. It was a Cowboys game.
And they're also without Christian McCaffrey. They lost their first-round pick this year.
Maybe.
I think he was out for 3 weeks.
Nope. They
You
just
think
said
he might be back?
No. They just said that he might come back today.
I was even thinking in my head. I was
literally
like,
got an update
with Christian McCaffrey being out, maybe the Eagles have a chance, but I don't think they do because I still think.
Yeah.
Well, he's their entire offense.
Calvin
so if
Ridley
he's out,
McCaffrey maybe.
if he's out, then I think it's going to be a struggle. They will struggle with any run game without him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Eagles have a pretty solid defense. But they're just, they're the Eagles, but whatever. Without Christian McCaffrey and their Casey Horn. He just got hurt, who was their number 1 defensive player.
Here's the thing. I am definitely going to disagree with you, and I'm going with you. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to win this game because Sam Darnold this year has looked incredible. He's got a new life in him down in Carolina, and truthfully, the Panthers are getting the injury bug, and it sucks. But at the same time, they still have these replacements. Chuba Hubbard is not a bad running back. When he gets it going and he figures it out, he's going to be sweet. Then they just traded for Stephon Gilmore. That morale in that locker room is through the roof. And I think Carolina's going to come away with the win. And I just don't, like you said, I don't think the Eagles are that good. Like, Jalen Hurts is going to be a good quarterback, but he's still super young. And I don't think he's got what it is to be great.
I think Hurts is going to be a good quarterback for another team.
That's fair.
That's what my theory is.
With my thing with that is, I think the Eagles are bad, but the Panthers, they look good. Their record looks good, but I'm just still a bit hesitant. And when they play teams that are potentially somewhat competent, I would like to see what they do.
Gotta believe in Darnold.
And that's sort of it.
All right, the next game is the Denver Broncos versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Logan, who you got?
I'm taking the Steelers in this game. Big Ben has looked very bad, and
atrocious.
I know that, but Tomlin's a great coach. Tomlin's a good coach, and they have really good weapons. Najee. They've got some really good wide receivers. Johnson, Claypool might still be out, but Juju's still not bad. Whatever. Teddy Bridgewater's a bit banged up with a young team, and this is a step-up game. And you said this for Matt Ryan. I think Big Ben's going to find his groove eventually, and this is a big step-up game for Big Ben. And I think he finds it. And the Broncos' defense is pretty solid, so Big Ben's going to probably be forced to throw a little bit more, and maybe that can increase his stock and his confidence so he throws a little bit better. So if not this week, then next week. And again, actually, I'm going to save this. Well, it doesn't matter, actually. I'm picking them because, let's not forget, they did beat the Bills week 1. Bills are a good team.
Yeah, it was close. Lucky.
Bills are a good team. So I think they have it in them.
I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it kills me to say it because I really don't like them at all, and I hate them, especially because Reno likes them, and he's the worst. But
Reno's our friend, by the way.
I personally am a huge Najee Harris fan. He was one of my go-to guys in every NFL fantasy draft, and I wanted him. And he's got to start picking it up where my fantasy teams are going to lose every week. And I think this game is going to be good. I think Bradley Chubb's still out. I think he's out for the season, actually. So that's really going to take a toll on the Broncos' defensive line. But I also think that if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't play, Drew Lock is just not it. And if he is out there playing Drew Lock, they only have Courtland Sutton. Noah Fant's not bad, but they only have Courtland Sutton.
Correct.
And I just think Pittsburgh's going to be too much for him. I think Pittsburgh's going to start turning it on. Like you said, once Big Ben starts getting going and Najee figures out how to play as an NFL running back, they're going to be a good team.
Plus, Steelers have an elite defense. Well, it's not as good as it used to be and has been, but it's still...
It's not.
It's still good.
It's not elite.
It's a good enough defense to win your games.
Yeah, but it's not elite.
Maybe not. Not as I would agree with that. Good.
I don't know if you guys know this, but the Broncos started out the season 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were starting to say this might be a really good Broncos team. Do you guys know who they beat?
Yeah, teams that were.
They beat the Giants, the Jags, and the Jets.
Those are good teams. quality program.
And the first time that they play a competent football team, they lose 23-7 to the Ravens.
Hey, the
So
Lions almost beat the Ravens. Are you telling me? We
The
got to play the
Lions
Broncos.
can-
The Lions got to play the Broncos.
So let me tell you what I'm thinking here. When the Broncos play really bad teams, they win. Guys, the Steelers are a really bad team. I would put this like they are just not good. I don't think they're good. I think the Broncos are going to win this game. When I'm like picturing bad football teams, I'm going to look at the Giants, I'm going to look at the Jags, I'm going to look at the Jets, and I'm going to look at the Steelers. Big Ben is you guys said it. Big Ben is not a good quarterback.
Did you watch him fall?
Fall? Did you watch him underhand throw an interception straight to a D-line?
You're not wrong. You have quality argument here.
Big Ben is not good, and until they get somebody else in there, that's not going to be a good team. I'm taking the Broncos here.
I can't argue it. I'm taking the Steelers, but that's all on me. Like hoping that
this is their
takes
yeah.
off.
I did see a notification about talking about Tomlin and if Big Ben was going to be the starter, and his quote was something along the lines of like without a question. Like so, I'm riding with Tomlin here. He sees something. He knows football better than us, and Big Ben's not a bad quarterback. He's just playing bad.
Yeah, he's
All right,
and so's
let's go to
Mayo.
the next
he's
game.
not.
We got the Cleveland Browns versus the LA Chargers. The Chargers. I will say who I am taking, and it is my favorite quarterback of that draft class, in Justin Herbert. I said it the day they drafted, or then when he was drafted, I think it was the third overall quarterback in that draft. I think it went Burrow, Tua, and then he was like fifth taken. I said, watch it. Herbert's going to be the best quarterback to come out of this draft class, and truthfully, he's showing it right now. He just lit up the Raiders. He beat the Chiefs, and then he lit up the Raiders on Monday Night Football. The Chargers are a serious team, and I think they're going to compete in the AFC. Their defense is good. Derwin James in the secondary is amazing, and Eckler. Where did he come from? I mean, he's an amazing running back. Now Mike Williams is starting to figure it out, and then you got Keenan Allen, who's a stud. Like, the Chargers are a legit team, and they have the best quarterback in that draft class. Like, and Burrow was supposed to be. And then I argue this to the day I die. I think Herbert will be the best quarterback out of that class.
For very similar reasons, am going to have to agree with you. Just because when I look at this, I think these are two very even teams. And I think when you have even teams playing, the best way to just decide who's better is to look at the quarterback. And I think Herbert is just much better than Baker Mayfield. I don't think Baker's bad, but I think Herbert... I'll put it this way. If you swap teams, I think Herbert on the Browns wins the Super Bowl this year.
See, that's another thing I didn't expand on with when I was talking about the Chargers. I think the Browns are, like you said, a great team. They both are really even.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Is like I brought up the quarterback. I'm 100% with you. I think the Browns are really good, and they're going to be a scary team come playoff time. But I just think the Chargers are better at this moment in time. So
I think it's a coin flip. So when it's a coin flip, I go with the quarterback I like more, and I like Herbert more.
The Browns also lost Jarvis for a little bit.
And
So.
Mayfield is kind of questionable too.
Oh,
He's
is
banged
he?
up.
Oh, is
Oh.
Yep.
Well, that just makes my pick even
He got
easier.
banged up.
Are we
last
gonna
week.
all agree?
Yeah. So my pick. This is our first three-peat.
Oh, wow.
We'll
I'm
take-
going the Chargers for very similar reasons. I think they are electric. Their offense.
Bolt.
Their offense is good, and the Browns have a really, really good offense too. I don't think it compares. Like OBJ isn't in his prime, isn't what he used to be, and they're out Jarvis. And yeah, like I said, I agree with you, but Mayfield's pretty banged up, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
A good receiver.
I did
would
make a
say
note.
that.
He isn't. He made one catch, and everybody thinks he's God-tier receiver.
This isn't a sweet catch though.
It was a good catch,
Yeah,
but
It was a pretty sweet catch.
God tier.
I think
okay, God-tier catch, not God-tier receiver.
I think he's pretty good.
Yeah.
off topic
he's
a
just
little
better.
bit. I think if the NFL was ever to go with like an NBA style logo, I think that would be the logo right there.
The catch.
That catch.
That'd be
That's fair.
sick.
Either that or the Dwight Clark catch, but that's just because I'm a 49ers fan. I hate
So, or the helmet catch.
No, that's just too much. You know, that's too
Sure.
complicated.
So I did write one thing about this game that can go wrong for me, and I can go wrong for us. And it's two things. One is Cleveland defense, pretty good,
Yeah.
really good, and Chubb and Hunt.
Yeah, but the Browns' defense is good, but everybody like says, "Oh, Jadeveon Clowney, like he's good."
I'm not even.
Okay.
I'm not even.
Jadeveon Clowney's not
Doing
good.
that.
Yeah, have you ever seen Miles Garrett?
Denzel Ward and Miles Garrett.
Yeah, I've watched him play a couple times.
Denzel Ward and Miles Garrett.
Did you see the picture he posted? He said, wore no sleeves one time. They're asking me to pee in a cup. Dude, he was literally walking like
Have you
this.
seen the video that was going around of him like making that cut in, and it literally just looks like he's faster than the camera. Like when he cut in, he's faster than the camera. It looks like he teleports.
Literal creature. All right, last game, and of course it's Sunday Night Football. Got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Great matchup.
It is going to be good, and it was really tough. It was really tough to pick between the two teams because the Chiefs have been losing as of late. Well, they won last week, but they're not looking like the Chiefs, and the Buffalo Bills are on a hot streak. And it came down to me. I think the Chiefs are going to win in the playoffs. I think the Chiefs are going to knock the Bills out in the playoffs, but I think the Bills will win this season or this game. And it is really tough for an NFL team to beat another NFL team twice. That's one of the hardest things to do. And for that reason, I think the Bills take the game one because it's pregame. It's like preseason, not preseason, but like normal season. And I think the Chiefs are just going to be better come playoff time.
Do we know where the game's at?
It's in Arrowhead,
That's
which
tough.
is exactly why I am going to take your argument and flip-flop it. I'm going with because that was my exact logic, but I'm going with the complete opposite. I think if this was on a neutral site, I might take the Bills, but it's tough to win in Arrowhead. So I'm going to take the Chiefs at home against the Bills this time. And then when they meet, I think by the end of the season, I think the Bills will end up winning the AFC. So I think it's going to be,
Watch out for the electric charges.
It's going to be January weather up in well, even if they don't win, I think the Bills will. Even if the Chargers win the AFC, the Bills are going to have a better record. So it's going to be in January, Buffalo in the freezing cold. I don't think the Chiefs win that game. I don't think the Chiefs win that game. And I do agree, it's tough to beat a team twice. So the first one, round one, I'm giving to the Chiefs at home. Tough to win in Arrowhead.
I respect it.
So, what I do when I and I think the Chiefs and the Bills and the Chargers are, and the Browns, probably the four best teams in the AFC. Like,
Chiefs, Bills, Chargers, Browns.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those four. But Chiefs and Bills are, I would say probably the Chargers are the best at this point from what I've seen. But these two, I don't know. So, what happens when I bet on, sports or, if I had to put money on who I think is going to win a game, I always bet on somebody and they always lose. So
Same.
I my initial thought was the Chiefs are going to win this game. And so, but you know what I do? I know that about myself, so I go the opposite way. Okay?
Love it.
But here's the
Give it
thing.
to me.
But
Give
here's
it
the
to me.
thing. I know I do
Come
that,
on.
so I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm picking the Chiefs because of that. My instinct told me Chiefs, and so
Wow,
I would
I
go
just
the
got
opposite.
We just got the old switcheroo.
I was like, wait, he's literally going to leave me hanging?
And so that's why I'm picking the Chiefs, because
Oh
I
my
am
God.
setting myself up for the trap, because I typically always pick the right team and then switch. And then, so I'm going back. I'm going with the Chiefs.
What we got to do this weekend,
I just got played.
we're going to drive up to Detroit.
Sorry.
We're going to drive up to Detroit, and we're going to put money on the Bills. Just so that way the Chiefs win. That's my new strategy.
So like I said, I think these teams are very, I know we said that these are very 50-50 teams, and I think these teams are very, very close skill-based. And I think it's going to be a shootout, and going to the best offenses I think Kansas City does have. Tyreek is better than Stephon Diggs. Kelsey's better than Dawson Knox. Is that even?
Sweet name, though. Dawson Knox is
Yeah.
like great.
That sounds like a
name.
pro wrestling name.
That's a grade A name, dude. And
Yeah.
he's got like curly hair, he's got a
Hilaire.
helmet, dude. He looks sweet.
Yeah,
I hope
Hilaire,
that helmet. Like,
Hilaire's better than Moss. So I think they're even though their defense isn't the best.
Defense is terrible.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna go to offense, and I think Patrick Mahomes. I mean, but so here's also reasons why, and I mentioned this earlier. Bills lost to the Steelers, who are bad. They're not good. Chiefs lost to the Ravens, and they lost to the Chargers, who are great teams.
You didn't say the Ravens were great when you.
They're teetering. They're teetering, and I could also see them.
Or they almost lost
Almost
the Lions.
And they have been in a lot of tough games recently with those two teams and those two losses, and they almost lost to the Browns where they came back, and so Andy Reid, good old Andy will figure out a way to win, and offensive he's got one of the best offensive players, probably ever in Patrick Mahomes, so he can figure out a way. And so I also wrote down one key that might lose me this game, and it is just the name Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I think he's good enough, and he could be the reason why this game.
That's a tough key, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I am going with the Chiefs in this one. So, yeah, that was NFL Charcuterie for this week.
Let's run down our picks. I'm going Falcons, Panthers, Steelers, Chargers, Bills.
Okay, I'm going. I didn't write them down.
What, are you joking me?
I'm going. Dude, I just know them. I'm going Jets, Panthers, Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs.
And I picked the Jets, the Eagles, the Steelers, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. So that wraps it up for NFL Charcuterie. Like we said, this is going to be a season-long tally. We're going to see this Sunday, and I don't know if any of these games are the Monday night games.
Wins?
Who gets the points? And at the end of the year, yeah, it's just going to be a long-running tally. We'll keep you guys updated as it goes on. And yeah, there's going to be a punishment. So let us know what punishments you think, and we'll let you guys know which ones we have. But now we're going to go to our next segment.
And this is the one I'm most excited for. It's kind of like the big one that we all kind of agreed is going to be the one that like makes us our show. It's going to be called Cream of the Crop. And it's not going to be one of the rotating ones. We're going to do this every single week. We're bringing you our top 5 of a certain topic, and we're going to have the great debate, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's going to
Any
happen.
topic under the sun. Nothing is off limits.
Nothing. And
I'm sure there's something.
Anything is on the table.
I'm sure there's something. I can
Nothing.
think of things that I would keep off limits.
yeah, actually, you know what? You might be onto something.
I can think of some things we probably shouldn't.
So what's our topic this week there, Skipster?
Oh, our topic this week, we're going with video games. Those are any type of games that you would play in video format.
Top 5 video games.
Anything with a screen, right? You know,
Anything with a screen.
All right.
technology, baby. Who wants to start us off? Well, we're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we're gonna go
And then we have a
fives,
couple honorable mentions.
4s, 3s, and then if we ever like repeat, because I'm sure we will have some repeating in here.
Yeah, we'll just bounce
We'll
off
just
of it.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and also this as well. We are going to post on our social medias, and you guys at home each week are going to vote on who you think had the best list of that week. So there's going to be sort of a running tally of who wins. We're not going to do a punishment for that. It's more just bragging rights on, for this week, who has the best taste in video games and who just brought the best argument that week. So that's going to be in your guys' hands.
If you couldn't tell from him saying we have a running tally, we love to compete between us three. We're really competitive. So
Every single segment isn't somehow a competition.
Yeah.
We found something that we enjoy to do, and we found a way to turn it into a competition.
yeah, that's what we do. We like to compete. So let's get us started here. Logan?
We'll go this way now. Yeah.
So, cream of the crop.
Number
Top
5.
5 video games, my number 5. So, I'm going to preface this. I went about this in a specific way, and I went the best 5 video games in different categories.
Oh.
So, my number 5 has to be the Battle Royale styled video game of Fortnite. I think it is a top 5 video game, and I'll tell you why. It came out, and since then there has been many other Battle Royale games like Warzone, and there's been some other ones, but PUBG was before it, another Battle Royale game, and it quickly surpassed PUBG. Quickly. I played PUBG before, then I played Fortnite, quickly surpassed it, and then Warzone still doesn't have as much traction of it. Fortnite, to this day, the Fortnite World Cup, has the biggest prize pool in all of esports history. Over like $3 million, I think, went to the winner. Like, it's one of the biggest games, and you guys kind of gave me a look when I picked it, but I think it is very revolutionary, and it is such a great game. It's not just for little kids with the cartoons. Adults play it, and adults are playing in the tournaments. They're winning. They're making a lot of career from it, and I think it has revolutionized. And that's sort of my sort of standard for these is like how good is it compared to all the other games, and how does it do? And Fortnite surpassed PUBG. It came in later, surpassed it, and nothing has even come close to sort of coming close to it. I mean, it's sponsored with Drake. Or Travis Scott, I'm sorry, and then I think Ariana Grande is going to do
They did NFL teams.
Yeah, and they're just collabing. They collab with Marvel.
Yeah.
They're just huge, and I that is my basis for why I think it is one of the top 5 video games of all time.
I will definitely agree that it was very revolutionary, but once like people started figuring out how to build and all that, it wasn't for me anymore.
I mean, I enjoy a good Fortnite. I can sit down and play some Fortnite with the bros, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good time.
I've had my fair share of it.
I wouldn't put it top 5. I'm not going to disagree with what you have to say. I think your argument was valid. I just wouldn't put it top 5 for my personal list, or even maybe like the all-time, like in the general grand scheme of things. But I enjoy it. I enjoy that you're throwing yourself out there.
I'm not saying that it shouldn't be there, but it shouldn't be there.
No. I'll go with my number 5 now.
Let's hear it.
My number 5 is, I think, the best number 5 that you could possibly have. I'm going with GTA.
Ooh, that is a good one. That is actually, I actually did not even think of that.
See, my whole list, I have put games that I've spent the most time playing.
I respect that.
So, like, if I personally spend a lot of time playing it, I'm going to put it on my list. And these are probably the 5 games I've played most in my life. Just mixed up the order a little bit. But GTA 5 is one that, I mean,
it's fun.
There's so much you can do with that. That game came out, and people are like still clamoring, like, "Oh, we want GTA 6 now. We want GTA 6 now." There is so much to do in GTA 5.
Yeah.
Like anything you can imagine. And whenever I'm bored and I got no clue what to do, there's nothing better than just getting on there and
You playing a little?
playing a little. Dude, sometimes you just get on, play some tennis. Sometimes you just play a little golf.
Yeah.
Steal some cars.
Sometimes you steal some cars or
Beat
rob
up
some
some
banks,
hookers,
and
you
you
know?
do all that. But like, there's a lot you can do in that game.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, it's a good one. Like I said, when you said it, I was like, dang, I did forget about that. We'll go into my number 5. So they kind of gave a little bit of like why and what they picked for their top 5. I not only are the games that I spent the most time on, but the most joy that it brought me are my top 5. Like the most like absolute like, oh, I love it. I can't wait to go home and play the game again. Number 5 was actually the first video game I ever played. It was on the Nintendo 64. It is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Figured that was going to be on there.
Not gonna lie, I thought that would be your number 1.
It is one of my favorite games of all time, and it's so much nostalgia. When they brought that game and remastered it for the Nintendo, I think it was for the Nintendo Switch. Maybe it was a 3DS. I just, all I know is my buddy Dylan.
It wasn't the Switch.
It wasn't?
No.
Yeah, because it wasn't out yet. I think it's like the 3DS. I think that's what it was. Well, they remastered it, and me and my buddy played it literally all night long and just beat it, and it was so much fun. I love getting the colored tunics for the different biomes that you would beat and stuff like that. And you got Baby Link beating up people. I just love it. It's fun. It's the best game I've ever played. Or not best game, I meant. Sorry.
Your 5th best.
Fifth
best
best
game.
game.
I've never played it, so I can't really say much. I've never played any of the Zelda games. But
Oh, you got it. I'm excited.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild.
I have not played that, and but I'm going in a couple weeks on a trip, so
Yeah, you should.
I'm borrowing it from my friend to play it on the flight.
So I'll preface this, and this is sort of the beauty of kind of cream of the crop, is that we can kind of make it whatever we want. So like we kind of heard, like Sam's top 5 video game of all time was subjective to him and what brought him the most joy, and I sort of went at it as like a general overview of like the top 5 video games. Because in my honorable mentions, I put the video, because Fortnite does not bring me, in some of these, one of these I barely played.
Oh.
And I'm just looking at it as like objectively more than subjectively, just based on like what it is and and its accreditation, and that's why I brought up Fortnite and however.
That's fair.
Fortnite, I have some honorable mention ones that have brought me way more joy and I would much rather play, but they've got some problems with them, as most games do.
Hey, baby, it's cream of the crop. We're all here for opinions.
And that's it. Cream of the crop can be whatever you make of it, and that's just sort of the beauty of it, and that's why we kind of can give it to you guys to sort of like, oh, he had the best picks and he had the best reasons why, and I just like the way they argued it. So that's just sort of a little disclaimer on that.
I'll go with my number 4. So we'll go back snaky, a little snakeski. I'll go with my number 4, and it is I would say a game that I spent a lot of time on, and it was jumbled between 2 games, but they're the same game, so it is what it is. I am putting the Destiny 1 and 2 games in there. I think they were so much fun. Like, at first, though, when my brothers introduced it to me, I hated it. I hated the idea of it. I was like, oh, you're going to go play that space game, blah, blah, blah. And then I borrowed it from my sister-in-law, and I never looked back. Yeah. I played so much of it, and honestly, to this day, if I had more time, I would still play it. My brother still does. My uncle still does. It is so much fun. There's so many things that you can do, like you said with GTA. It's endless. Like, you have weekly challenges, weekly raids, always trying to get your light level higher. I preferred being the Titan. That was my favorite guy to use. But like that, you have so much customization too, like what you wear, what it looks like, who you are. There's the Titan, the Warlock, the Hunter, and it just brought me so much joy. But it's just a great game in general. Like there were some, like you said, there were some issues with like servers and stuff. But I'll never forget when it was Tuesday night when I was in high school, the weekly reset. We can go do the Vault of Glass raid or the Crota's End raid and just, have a good time with 5 other buddies. And it was a good time. And I loved it. And I think Destiny is one of the top games.
Number 4?
Yeah.
Number 4 top game?
Mount
Rushmore. Mount Rushmore.
I said one of the top. I didn't say the top.
I'm just saying, just your number 4. I get it. You got anything to say about that?
No.
Have you guys ever played it?
I've seen people play Destiny. I've never personally had it because I've never owned it. I have seen people play it though. It does look fun. I mean, there's aspects of it that sort of remind me of Halo, but then there's things that you said that are sort of step above.
See, that's another thing with Halo. Like, when you play Halo, I get like a feel of like a Call of Duty almost. Like, that's kind of what you get.
Yeah.
With Destiny, it's a lot of PvE.
Yeah.
Like, it's not PvP. But you can go and play PvP if you want. Like, there's so much to do. But it's a lot of player versus the game. And that's what makes it so much fun, because instead of competing with your friends, you're alongside of your friends and you're going at it with like the big boss raids and trying to get better equipment and everything. So
yeah, I'm the same way. I've only ever watched people play it, so I'm just I'm hoping there's one on your list that I've played personally that I
I don't actually. I know you've played 2.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, I guess my number 4. I think we're about to change it up a little bit here. Because I'm putting the consoles aside, I'm putting the PCs aside, I'm pulling out the iPhone, and I'm about to rock a little bit of the Heyday.
I knew he was going to put that on there.
Are you kidding me?
I knew
Okay, let me talk. This one's for the cameraman here. If you've never played a Heyday, you're missing out. It is like, I mean, I have, again, my list was divided by the games that I've spent the most time playing, and I have spent so much time building my farm to be what it is today. So it couldn't not be on my list. So, and it's when I was in like the thick of it, I'm kind of more of a casual player now, I'd say. But when I was a competitive Heydayer, like in the thick of the game, I would set alarms for like 1:30, 2 in the morning, and like to make sure that I could get my boats out on time. Like,
I will say when we got into Heyday a little bit over this past summer, and I would catch myself every 10 minutes getting on the game.
You just gotta pop off
doing your crops, doing your like. It was actually very addicting.
It's such an addicting game.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm sort of past it, but it is a very, very fun and addicting game. One of the most addicting games, I would say. I like apps and phones.
I mean, I gotta respect it. It's a great company that made it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably their best game they made. I'd say.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
So my number 4 next is the one that I've barely played. I've played a little bit, but it is the category of the best mass multiplayer online game, and that is World of Warcraft. And that game has been around for 25 years almost, and it is still going strong. They still have updates. They still have those raid bosses. Like you said, there's a lot of... it's like a fantasy one, and there's, comparatively, there's RuneScape, but it was the first revolutionized one, but it's still continued to grow and still be better than these other ones, Elder Scrolls Online, Lord of the Rings Online. It's one of the best mass multiplayers. Just because of its longevity. I mean, it's 25 years ago, whatever, and like the Leroy Jenkins, that was so long ago, and that was from that one. And like I said, I barely played it, but that's why I'm picking it on my list, is because more so of its sort of accolades than really the enjoyment I bring out of it. In a game that's lasted that long and still doing such a good job, I think has to be on the top 5.
I've never played it.
How often have you played it? Like, you say you only played it a little bit?
I've played probably maximum of 2 hours total.
Okay. When I was a wee little lad, I would play that game a lot. Like, that was one of my go-tos in elementary school.
Whippersnapper.
Yeah.
And I would say, I'm going to recommend to you, personally as a friend, don't play it. Because I could see, if you started playing that game, you would become... way too, like, it seems like one of those games that if you played, you would take up all of your time.
Yeah.
Like, and I just don't want to see that happen to you. I'd rather hang out with you than call you and be like, hey, what do you want to do? It's like, oh, okay, I'm playing World of Warcraft.
Thank you.
It just seems like one of those games that would, and I feel like it, like, you brought it up and I was like, that was a fun game. I might want to play it, but I'm thinking, like, if I go back and try and play it now, it could happen to me.
That's like exactly how Destiny is. Like it really is. Like it's the same thing.
More of a reason for it to be on my top 5.
It's like a drug. It really is like a drug, and I'm gonna avoid it, and I recommend that you avoid it.
Hey, so good pick.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick.
I mean,
top
it has
5.
to be okay.
I'd put it top 5.
So then I'm gonna go to my number 3 pick. My number 3 pick is a game that I probably am the only one that's heard of in this room. It's called XCOM 2, and I'd mentioned this to you guys before. It's the best turn-based game ever. There's turn-based games like all the Civilization games, like Civ 5, Civ 6, Risk. And again, it's just surpassed them. And I've put a lot of time into this game, and it's won so many awards. It's so good. You fight aliens. It's got such a good storyline. It's so well done. It's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of customization, which I know you guys don't know it, but there's a lot of customization with your troops. You know, if you want to bring in you can bring in a sniper. If you want to bring in like 2 like hand-to-hand guys, or you just make your team, and then if they die, they're gone or whatever. But XCOM 2, it was sort of one of the guilty pleasure ones that I added on this list, but I wanted to add a turn-based game on, and I think it just edges out the Sid Meier's Civilization games, and so that's why I'm putting on XCOM 2. If you haven't played it, I would very highly recommend.
No, I've never played it. Never heard of it. I can't say much. Never heard of it. Just, I mean, I don't want to go deep into the game, but you said it's a turn... how do they pull off a turn-based game with a storyline?
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
That seems confusing.
Yeah, it is. So basically, it's it's been a little bit. I don't remember if it's like other planets. I mean, obviously with aliens, but or they're inhabiting Earth. But basically, it's Earth kind of run down, let's say, or you're on another planet run down, and you have like this headquarter where you are, and you have little missions to sort of like stop alien forces and get supplies or whatever like that, or save some hostages. And let's just say you have like at first you have like 4 recruits that you go with, and so what you'll do is you'll get sent on a mission, and then you'll go out, and then you're like in this big it can be like a cityscape with a bunch of like buildings and cars and everything everywhere, like a gas station that's like run down or something, and there's like it's sort of like Catan in a way. There's like tiles and things like that, and your guy can move a specific amount and then like maybe try to shoot, but like people have different things, so like there's a sniper that you leave back, and there's your guy that's like right up there with a shotgun, and like each person kind of gets a turn, and the aliens also get turns, and like they can like move behind things, and it's fun. And then it's like turn-based to where like also if one of your guys dies, then they're dead, and in the next mission you have 3 people until you can like recruit another person, like bring them in or something like that. And you're also like upgrading your weapons, upgrading like your people's armor, but it's like not unrealistic where it's you're always ever OP or anything like that. You have too good of stuff. And then if you kill all of the aliens or you get to the checkpoint, then you can then you retreat back and then you get your next mission or something like that. So that's sort of how it goes, and then you basically try to complete your goals and complete your missions.
When did it come out? Is it like newer, or is it like just a general time?
I mean,
like last 10 years.
5 years.
5
maybe?
years. Okay.
5.
Just wondering.
What's
how
your
it goes.
third?
2016. So
2016. 5 years.
5 years.
We're on 3.
We're on 3.
Okay.
Okay. My number 3, again, I'm going with games that I spend the most time playing, and this is probably the game that I play most now. I'm going with NCAA Football 12. Going with 12. That's the one. I have 13. I've played 14 a lot. I don't have 14, but I've played it a lot. And that's the game that I spent so much time on that game, doing Dynasty mode. Really just all the NCAA football games, I guess, but like 12 is mine. My newest game system is a PS3. I don't have anything past the PS3. And I've made a deal with myself that I'm not getting another game system until they bring back the NCAA games. And it's coming. So I got to start saving up because I'm going to have to get either a PS5 or an Xbox, whatever. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to get something because, I spend way too much time on this game, and it's just such a good time. There's nothing better than playing. And then when you get, the best is, I can sit by myself for hours at a time and play Dynasty mode, recruit, bring Idaho to the national championship for 5 years in a row. It's a good time. But then, when I just got a bunch of people over and we just need something to do, you just set up a tournament, you play some games. I beat Chase every time. He's so bad. It's just a great time. And great game. Great game.
Yeah, it is. So my number 3, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you didn't play it, but you might have. I don't know how much multiplayer games you played, but it's Call of Duty, MW2. And it's tough for me to pick between. I had to put a Call of Duty on there because I'm a Call of Duty avid player throughout all the years. I've played them all. The only one I didn't play was Infinite Warfare because it was buns. But MW2 edged out Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1 for the sole fact that going home and rushing to get to your PS3 or Xbox 360 to jump in a party chat with all your boys and go nuke hunting on Karachi or Wasteland or whatever it is, was amazing. And it was just so much fun, so much nostalgia. I will say that Special Ops was also a lot of fun, and the campaign, the whole game, was what made it better than Black Ops for me. Personally, so some experiences with the game. I remember that was my my second platinum trophy because I had PlayStation 3. My second platinumed game. Me and my brother couldn't beat this Special Ops mission on Veteran, and one night we grinded it as hard as we could possibly do it, and we beat it, and that was a lot of fun. And just, I don't know, the nostalgia was amazing, and I'm so happy they aren't or haven't yet. I don't know if they are or not. I do not want them to remaster it.
I think they will. I think they are.
I don't want them to for the sole fact that I loved Call of Duty 4, but when it got remastered, it kind of took away the nostalgia. It kind of made it seem this is just
it's just another game.
Yeah, it's another game. Like MW2.
It's another same game.
Yeah, it's another But with MW2, you can go back and play it on the same on Xbox One with the backwards compatibility, and it feels like it was back then. I don't want them to remaster it because they'll change too much and it'll just be different and it won't be the same game.
I'm not a big Call of Duty guy, but if I had to pick one, I think that's clearly the best. So that's a good pick.
That was the first one I ever played.
Really? Okay. I wasn't sure if you did or not.
Yeah, first one I ever played.
It's a quality pick.
It is.
Yeah.
It was, like I said, it was tough to edge out Call of Duty Black Ops because I loved the multiplayer, but it had zombies. It had zombies, and everybody loves zombies. It's the best. So.
Well, didn't Black Ops had zombies?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's it was tough that it edged out. MW2.
Oh,
edged out.
I thought you were trying to say that MW2 had. I was confused. It's all right.
My bad.
Can I make a recommendation? Mm-hmm. We're on number 2. Can we just go here?
Oh yeah.
I have a fear, so I say we go here for 2, work back around. I have a fear. So why don't you do your number 2?
But do you think my number 2 is just your number 2?
No, I think your number 2 quite possibly could be my number 1.
No.
It's not?
No.
Okay, well,
Okay,
then,
well, why don't we just
I'm
do
gonna
it?
just go.
Yeah, you go.
All right, so I'm gonna go
Why
on.
don't you quit sabotaging the show?
I'm gonna go on to number 2, and this is this one is solely on how you said played like the most of.
Yep.
Because I play the most of it every single day of my life.
Yeah.
It's on my phone. I've played it since sophomore year of high school, and quite frankly, I don't know if it makes me happy or if I just get super angry and want to punt my phone across the room. And it's Clash Royale. And I was talking to my buddy Jacob at work the other day, and he said, I had an epiphany the other day. Clash Royale is a lot of fun. And I was like, you know what? It really is. And it truthfully is a really fun game. It's a really strong, strategic game that you have to be skillful about how you place your cards at, where you're at. And the coolest thing about it is it may seem like it's the same game year after year after year, but really each month with the new update, there's a new meta to the game. There's a new way to play it, new cards to use. So if you don't have those cards leveled up, you're kind of falling behind. And I really just love grinding out ladder trophies and going over to do the special events. I wish I had a strong clan that we could all get together and play and do a bunch of clan wars. But I'm just in a random clan. It's the easiest $5 I spend every month buying the season pass.
Yeah.
I just love the game. I can't stop playing it. So
it's no heyday.
it's way better than Heyday, dude. It's not even question.
I love games that are super quick, and those are games that are super quick.
Yeah.
A game takes 5 minutes max.
That's what I do. I literally go work out at Planet Fitness and do the stairs for 20 minutes. I go through 4 games, and all of a sudden I'm done on the stairs. I'm like, sweet, that was the easiest stairs I've ever done.
And it's also a game that is very simple, but it's the smallest thing of misplacing one of your things can completely shift everything. And you have to be on the exact tile. No, and that's it is a very fun game and a very great game.
I literally,
I would say.
For example, earlier today, I was playing against the skeleton barrel, and I'm holding my zap over it, so once it hits my tower and drops all these skeletons, I hold my zap over it, zapped it too early. Guess what? Skeletons took my tower. Skeletons. I was like, are you joking? This is what happens to me? This is how I lose trophies? This is ridiculous. And then I almost punted my phone across the room. Alright, let's move on. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is probably of every game that I've ever played in my life, the game that I've yet to ever be challenged in. It would be number 1.
So annoying.
It would be number 1 if it wasn't everybody else was so beneath me in it.
Oh.
If that makes sense. If I actually had competition when I played and it was a fair matchup, I would probably get so much more joy out of the game. But I've yet to find a human being alive on this planet who even comes close to my just natural God-given ability at that game. And that's Mario Superstar Baseball for the GameCube.
You're disgusting.
It's just simply the truth.
He's really good.
Yeah. I've beaten the game.
He's so good.
I've beaten the game 4 times over, 5 times over, 6. I don't know how many times. Actually, beating the game is pretty easy, so I've probably done it over 100 times. But I mean, it's just so much fun, and to sit there and to play. I got everybody on star. Every single player is a superstar. I don't know when the last time you guys played was, but everyone's a superstar now. In case you didn't know that.
So, is there ever a correlation in your mind that maybe you're so good because you've beat the game 100 times? If I played Call of Duty and I got 10th prestige 100 times over,
here's the thing.
I think I would be top in the world.
I would think
maybe
that.
there's a correlation.
I would think that, but the second from the time I was 6, I pick up that GameCube controller, I felt like an electricity shoot through my body, and I just shut somebody out 10-0. And I've never looked back.
Maybe you're above all of us when we play because you have continually played this game over and over your entire life and never stopped, and we play once every 5 years when you ask us to play.
Well, here's the thing. From the time I was 6 like even when I first started playing, I was just so much better than everyone, and then everybody else like kind of was like, okay, well, let's move on and find the next big game. I was like, guys, I'm not ready to move on yet. I'm still so good.
We're really humble on this podcast.
Dude, here's the thing. I am being humble. I am being humble. This is my humbleness. Do you
Just
want
being
me?
honest.
You're
He's
so
just
annoying.
honest.
Do you want me to brag? Because I will brag. Like,
Oh, you haven't started?
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the best fantasy role-playing game of all time, and a game that I genuinely enjoy and have played a lot of, and that is The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt.
never heard of it.
I've heard of it. Never played it.
Witcher?
So
I hardly know her.
let me give you one award this game has won.
Okay.
In 2020, this game won Video Game of the Decade. Or the Century, I'm sorry.
Okay. I was
Century.
gonna say decade's pretty good. Century.
I'm sorry.
that's-
Well, probably.
I would
Best
Video games even in the 1900s?
Best video game of the decade. It's super good, and it's better than Skyrim in my opinion. Also, the Netflix came out with The Witcher, and amazing. Probably gonna start being It was one of my favorite shows. They only have one season. I'm so excited for the second one, and then that just got me more excited for it. And I played it, and there's over 200 hours of gameplay in just the campaign. You have so much you can do, and it's like Skyrim in a way, but I like the way that certain monsters or bosses, like if there's different irons and stuff, like a sword that's made of silver. You use that on a goblin and it kills him in one hit. But you try to use that on, like, I don't know, a griffin, and it doesn't do anything. Like, things have specific weaknesses, and I just think that's super cool. So you can't just, like, have, like, the best sword and kill everything. Like, you have to sort of game plan if, like, you have a mission to go, raid a giant spider's den. Like, you have to find the right sword and the right potions you need to use. Super good. One of the best fantasy role-playing games I've ever played. I played a lot of hours of it, and the books were really good. I never read them, but I heard they were really good.
I got triggered when you said goblin because it just spiked up like Goblin Barrel for me, and I was
Yeah.
Still back
I
on
was just
Clash
mad.
Royale. But yep, that's my number 2. Best fantasy role-playing game of all
Yeah.
time.
Question. I think I'm just gonna ask a question. What century are they judging this on? Because if it's the 20th century, like the competition's not that stiff, and if it's the 21st century, we still got like a lot more time.
Well, if it's the 20th century, Pong, dude.
Yeah, Pong's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's
If
the
it's
best
the 21st century,
Like what century are they?
that's even better because nothing's gonna match it. It's the game of the decade.
Game of the decade.
That's what I said.
No,
Yeah, and then you
they-
I
switched
said
it to
century. I don't know.
You
You
said
said
decade,
decade,
and then you switched it to century.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, maybe because you guys messed me up. Yes, it is the game of the decade.
So what?
The last
so that's
10 years.
Last 10 years.
In
Okay.
2020,
Makes
it was
sense.
the best.
Because you said game of the century, I was like, wow, that's
Okay.
a
game
I
of
gotta
the
ask.
last 10 years.
I think we are.
Are we at a consensus?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we gotta say.
Alright, we're at a consensus. All of us have picked the number 1 game.
I was scared it was your number 2, which is why I wanted to switch it.
No,
so that way we
absolutely.
Could, okay, I'm
It's-
glad it's your number.
it's my
We
number.
know.
I mean, we've played it from day 1 on
By far the game I've put the most amount of hours.
Yeah.
By far, not even
probably.
close.
Minecraft.
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 Dude, we're all minors here. Like, look at us. Like, come on.
Actually, I'm 22.
What? I said minors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Ah, man, the game is so much fun. I mean, we play it to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome because my nephews are even playing it now. So like, they're into the game.
I mean, you say things like GTA 5 is the 5th best game of all time because you can do whatever, you can do anything, you can do everything. You can literally do anything you want in
And
this
it's
game.
the best, dude.
There's mods, there's different game modes, there's servers, there's everything. We've been on a bunch of different Skyblock servers. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Skyblocks and that's just a different mode you can do.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing.
Hunger Games, Bed
Oh,
Wars.
yeah,
Good
absolutely.
little bed wars. Oh.
And just like anything else, it came, and there may have been stuff before it, but it's far out past. There's knockoffs.
Oh yeah.
It still is far out passing them.
By far.
It's not even close.
Like you were saying, like you literally can do anything. Like named off a numerous amount of different like game modes. But heck, you could just go into a game, go mine us some wood,
Cut down a tree
cut down
and build a house.
crafting bench, put some wood to sticks, and make a freaking pickaxe. It is the best game. I will say this is going to make you guys a little angry. I know this. I know it will.
Yep.
I personally prefer the console versions on the computer. I'm not a computer guy. I'm not a CP player. I love consoles. I do.
CP?
No, it's a PC.
Okay. Just making sure. I thought you said CP.
Whatever. But I am not a computer player. I prefer the consoles. I think it's more fun with the controller. It is awesome that they're adding servers to the Bedrock version. I do like the mods you can do. That's really cool. Like Pokemon or what's it called?
Pixelmon.
Pixelmon.
Yeah, we played on that before.
Yeah,
many
Hunger
times.
Games. Like it is really awesome what you can do with it. But I just prefer the console. That's my person.
When I play on the computer, I normally use a controller.
Yeah.
I couldn't disagree more. I think I love the mouse and keyboard. I mean, that's how I started with it.
Yeah,
So maybe
it's
that's
fair.
just what I'm used to. And I started with computer first. Like I played this since I was in 6th grade. So
Nice.
I've been playing this pretty much almost when it first came out. I think I was like a year behind when it first came out, but I just prefer the computer, and I've only played it on the computer because you can add so many mods to it, texture packs, which they did add eventually, but still it's just way easier to add mods in on the computer and the different modes and all these other sort of platforms to do it on. And I think PvP is just way easier. Like if you can control your mouse a little bit better than you can control both of the sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just what.
All right, let's go through the table, us three. Since we all came to consensus of Minecraft.
Yep.
Our favorite memory of playing Minecraft.
Oh my gosh.
I have mine, and it's easy. Minecraft first came out for the Xbox 360. I literally bought a used Xbox 360 from a buddy from Christmas to buy this game and play Minecraft. Me and my friend Dylan Clark, he was the guy I was talking about earlier, we created a world.
Name drop.
Oh, sorry, ooh, bam, mic drop, name drop, whatever you want to say. But we created a world and we called it Riften. I think it was like a Skyrim like name or whatever, but we never played Skyrim or anything, but we called it Riften. And it started out as 2 little houses, and then it grew into this big, enormous city where we would have user after user getting into our lobby. Like we would have a full 8-person lobby at the time. There was only 8 people. Full 8-person lobby, and people would be waiting in our party chat to join in to play and create more of the city. Like we had a currency system, we had a jail, we had everything going, and it was just fun. It wasn't like spectacular building, or we were like 13 whatever, but it was just so much fun. It was one of the best times I ever had playing Minecraft.
I think my best time is I played a lot with your brother. We played a lot of modded Minecraft together, and we went on a server on a mod called Tech It, and it adds a lot of machinery, adds a lot of certain valuable ores and valuable resources and new armor. It adds a lot of things, and a lot of things that are very OP to where you cannot die and you can one-shot anybody, anything. It doesn't matter. And we started that by creating a cookie factory. So like we had Corey digging up everything and like sorting everything, but whatever. And then eventually we became so like powerful on that server that we had enough resources that somebody built us a castle and then built like sculptures of us, like the skins that we were using outside of this the castle. And so that was pretty cool that you could get that powerful and at a point in Minecraft and somebody had built us a castle. It wasn't like an overly huge castle, but it was still a really cool castle and really awesome thing to do. And and then little sculptures and a little hedge maze outside and a fountain. I just remember it. It was really cool. That's just one thing that always sticks out to me playing.
I mean, I don't know if I got like one singular memory, but just like when I play, I just do a lot of dumb stuff. And I think that's what really makes the game the most fun for me, is like in the world that we have now, like I have a whole strip club, and then like I have a big arena right next to it, and just playing that. And then like even when like me and Gav would play when we were younger, like we'd like start and we'd have a little town and it would all just be filled with like the dumbest things you could imagine. And like that's what makes Minecraft fun is you could make a cookie factory or have your own currency, or you could just like go around and get like 100 dogs and like mess around. It's just you can do whatever you want playing Minecraft.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go into some honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list, but we think are still up there.
Yeah. So I got 3. I'm going to just list them off. Roblox, Super Mario, Nintendo 64. It was the second game I ever played, and then Dante's Inferno. The reason I like Roblox is you can do anything you want. There's so many different things to do. Me and Ethan would play Murder Mystery X all the time. We would try to like get knives, and I remember staying up till like the sun came up next morning playing that game. The reason I picked Super Mario 64 is because I think Mario deserves a spot on every list, and that was my favorite one of the games. Dante Inferno was one of the most nostalgia games that I picked on the list. It wasn't like the best game by any means or like the most fun or whatever, but it was the first game I bought with my own money. It was a pre-owned game from GameStop, and the first time I got it, I put it in my PS3 and beat it in one night, and it was a lot of fun. So those are my 3.
I got 4, so I'll just go through them quick. The first one I got is Mario Super Striker, which is another kind of like Mario Baseball and with soccer. I'm also just better than everyone at that game. Logan's pretty good, but that's a fun game. Another one I got is Army Sergeant Wars.
That's a good one. The little toy.
That's a nostalgia game.
Army Sarge Wars or whatever. You're just a little like toy stick, not stick figure, like a toy army man, and you run around. It's like
Call of Duty.
The better version of Call of Duty. It's a pretty fun game. And then after that, I have War of the Monsters.
Ooh, that was also
once you said that, I knew that game was going to be on your list.
Yeah.
Which
once you just said that.
That's another one that was close to getting on my list. I love War of the Monsters. That's probably my favorite PS2 game. I have it for the PS3. I just never really play it. And then the final one that I'm going to just throw out there because none of us really put it out there, but it was like literally like scratching my head if I should put it on my list, was Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah.
I was big into that. I don't know if you guys like it.
I played a lot.
It's alright.
So my honorable mentions, I have 4. First is Ark Survival Evolved. It's a dinosaur video game. I love dinosaurs. You get to breed and tame. You're just in a big open world that looks pretty realistic. And you get to basically boost up your stats, and then you live in a world full of dinosaurs, so you tame some small ones, and then you can tame some like aggressive ones, and then eventually there's some boss fights. The only reason it didn't make my list is because it does have a lot of problems. I've played probably like 1,300 hours, and it's a game I played a lot, and I love the game, but it's a good concept put in the hands of bad developers, and me and my 2 buddies that played it a lot, we always said that all the time. It was sort of like, I don't know if any other games played it, but you get to a certain point and you play it multiplayer with a bunch of people, and you can play PvP or PvE and stuff like that, but eventually the server wipes because people will build these massive, because you can build in it too, kind of like Minecraft in a way, but it's like realistic. But after a while, people will abandon their stuff, so servers wipe and then you reset. And I just love that game. I think it's so good, but put in the hands of bad developers. Pokemon Yellow. I love Pokemon. I could have put other games in there, but Pokemon Yellow is revolutionary. I think there's really not much to say. Civilization 5, I mentioned it earlier, turn-based game, beat out by XCOM, but I love the game, all the different ways to win, and I really want to do like a Civ 5 crossover with Catan board game, like ways to win Catan other than just the victory points. I think that'd be super cool. And then Black Ops 3. I love the multiplayer in Black Ops 3. I also love the zombies, and that's something that MW2, to me, the multiplayer is awesome, but I loved zombies, and that sort of escalated it more, and then the multiplayer was really good. So
Was Black Ops 3 Origins?
No.
No, that was Black Ops 2, right?
Yeah.
I'm shocked neither of you put honorable mentions, but neither of you put a Pokemon game on there.
I was actually thinking about I should have put one on.
And it's your honorable mention.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on your top 5. I was thinking about them. I was like, one of them.
I didn't know which game to pick.
Yeah.
Mine would have been Emerald. If I would have put it on. I like Pokemon Emerald.
Yeah, Emerald's really
It was like the first one I played on my Game Boy Advance, and I liked it a lot.
Well, hey, make sure we'll put this all on Instagram. Vote for your favorite
Or Twitter.
or Twitter. Well, it's gonna be somewhere.
Yeah, you'll see it.
And/or.
If well, we'll probably even put it in the comments, and you can just like the comment that you like.
Yeah, and then comment your favorite.
Give us your top 5.
Yeah, your top 5.
Yeah, we want to hear. We want to hear
your sort of bad picks.
Yeah, let us know how dumb our picks were.
All right, we're gonna go to our last segment for this week, and it's a segment that I kind of came up with. We all have our favorite song, you know. What?
Nothing.
You trying to tussle or something here? We all have our favorite song of all time, but that may not be the song that we're gonna be listening to in the car for long rides that week. I think that a good song that we overplay and replay out all the time gets changed periodically. And so this one is going to be our song of the week, where each week we give you our song that we just can't stop playing in our cars and or headphones. So what's yours?
I'm starting? Alright. This is one that I think Monday of this week, I was literally just kind of like, I don't know what to listen to. It was like shuffle music, and like songs would come up like skip, skip, skip. And then one came up that I just completely forgot about. It's Remind Me by Brad Paisley and Carrie Underwood.
Oh, that is a good one.
Oh my gosh, I've listened to it like non-stop since, because like I was like, yeah, I'll listen to that. And then
that is a good one.
Probably 10 times since Monday that I've listened to that song. This might be, I mean, I don't know. I know you listen to a lot of everything. I listen to mainly country, but you don't like country at all, so
Not really.
Yeah,
Not quite.
I will say, Remind Me is good.
That's a
I'm
good
gonna
song.
listen to
You
that
should
on the way
listen
home.
to it on the drive home.
Hey, yeah. Yeah. Okay, my song of the week. One thing you need to know about me is that I am a big Swiftie. I love Taylor. I can't wait for Red. It's coming out a day after my birthday. And my song of the week this week is a song I was just listening to. It is Mr. Perfectly Fine. And it is so good, very pump up, and the Jonas Bro that broke Taylor's heart, you deserve that song written about you.
Yeah, screw you, bro.
So listen to that song. I'm sure you've all heard of it, but it's my song of the week.
It's a good one. It's a good
Hey,
one.
That's
T
right.
Swift is great, and I thought it was, I'm glad you brought it up because it's funny, but it's amazing. Like,
It's a great song.
people like to hate on her for the same reason why people hate on Nickelback. Nickelback's sweet.
She's quite literally changing the industry.
You're right.
White.
Couldn't agree more. So actually, when I came up with this segment a couple weeks ago, I had a song in mind. It was "Cringe" by Matt Mason because that was the reason it kind of struck it.
Mm-hmm.
But as of late, I haven't been listening to it as much. So I was looking for a new song. I was listening to my Pandora station, and Andy Grammer just got done playing, and he said, "Hey, listen to my new song, blah blah blah. It's out now." And I was like, "Huh, Andy Grammer's kind of good. I'll listen to it." And I was hooked immediately because I'm a big music guy. I like to break it down into like the lyrics of what I hear, like the message that they're displaying within the song, the way it sounds, obviously, how upbeat it is, or there's always a time for sad and whatever.
Yeah.
But this song was exactly what I needed that day, and I listened to it 5 times on the way home, and then the next day 10 times on the way to school. But it's Andy Grammer, Damn It Feels Good to Me. And it has such a great message. It's just a positive upbringing, like self-confidence. It was great.
Never heard it. I'll listen to it.
So let's break this down a little bit. So you not only there dropped 2 songs.
I said earlier on.
Yeah. So you dropped 2 songs of the week. Fine. But the
I don't
one
listen
thing
to songs of the week.
that's one. Point 1. Point 2. You listen to Pandora?
I absolutely 100%. I will. That's proud. I'm proud to listen to Pandora. It is the greatest thing ever.
When you write out the dates, do you write the 1 and the 2 backwards? Do you think it's 2012 still?
Oh no, it's 2021, and I love Pandora. I listen to it every day.
I have one thing to say to you.
What?
Grow up.
Oh, I have a subscription to Apple Music. I do. I personally choose to do Pandora.
I have never. That's like someone still using Skype.
I use Napster.
That's exactly
Hey,
what
you know
that
what?
is.
Screw you guys. I love Pandora because all I have to do is look up an artist, and guess what? It plays songs that sound just like them, or if not, close to them.
I think Spotify.
So does every other one.
Spotify does the same thing. You can do it on Apple Music.
It's way too hard to figure out how to do all that.
All right.
Just go to Pandora, search.
All right, well, that was our show this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Like we said, this is going to be a weekly show. We're going to be putting this out every Friday. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. Like we said, comment your song of the week, what you've been listening to, what you like, all that stuff. And we'll let us know. We are the Little Spoon Snatchers, and we'll see you guys next week.
Out
See ya.
from the kitchen, boys. That was awesome.